you said your granddad's trapped right inside here?
The tree was right here, and it just fell.
Is he okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Just obviously kind of blockaded in right now.
For some odd reason, I was looking, and I told my granddaddy, I said, I'm just out here looking out the window, wondering if the tree was gonna fall. So he looked up, he said, there you go.
Across the state of Alabama on Monday, 6 of those in the Tennessee Valley area. We're talking from Florence to Huntsville to Guntersville in that area. And then 3 tornadoes, at least 3, that occurred in the eastern portion of our state, from Asheville, St. Clair County, through Jacksonville over to the state line.
Wow.
The tracks could become more as more storm surveys are done today. The National Weather Service was out yesterday. They're out again today doing aerial surveys and ground surveys. So we may even see more tornadoes counted as the day goes on today. But I know the meteorologists were out there. They saw a lot of what we saw as we were going out, a lot of damage. In fact, John DeBlock with the National.
Directly attributed to the wind speed. Most of the damage to homes to this point has been from trees falling on the homes.
So again, I mean, what a challenge to look at all this damage, and it takes a while, really. We're talking about damage paths totaling more than 50 miles with these 3 tornadoes in East Alabama, another 50 to 70 miles of tornado damage in North Alabama. So it really takes a long time, and it really, when you start to think about how long these tornado paths were, the amount of damage that causes, you really start to understand how challenging it is.
Inconvenience of being without power. So first and foremost, we say thank you for your patience, and then just secondly, you kind of volleyed it right there.
Yeah.
There are some challenges weather-wise.
Well, I mean, today, on the day when the sunshine's starting to come back out, it's extremely windy, and once winds exceed a certain threshold, it's really hard for bucket trucks to safely operate in the air restoring service. So with the wind and then the ground conditions, it's still extremely wet on the ground.
Sure.
Some areas in these remote locations really hard for trucks to get into on a dry day, but when a soft ground, these trucks just can't get in there in these muddy areas or they'll sink.
Sure.
So it really becomes a challenge for these utility crews to get into some of these remote areas and restore service. That's why it takes a little longer on these windy days or the wet ground days like we're experiencing now.
Wow, and again, we know it's an inconvenience for those of you who are having to deal with power outages, but just ask you for your continued